Hidden in plain sight, solar panel generators packed with lethal drugs, a web of criminals, and a police sting that exposed it all. Today, we uncover how 3 gang members nearly succeeded in their audacious plot to smuggle cocaine and heroin into Scotland. Three criminals have been sentenced to prison for their involvement in a sophisticated plan to traffic a substantial amount of cocaine and heroin into Scotland. Their scheme involved concealing the drugs within fake solar panel generators, a disguise intended to evade detection. The individuals, identified as John Bonner, Christopher Laycock, and David Kelly, were linked to an extensive network of money laundering and drug trafficking. Their illicit operations came to light after a major police investigation in January 2022, which ultimately exposed the depths of their illegal undertakings. According to the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service (COPFS), surveillance officers observed several men carefully loading large pallets into a van at Hillington, Glasgow. These pallets were then transported south, where they were unloaded at a business park located in Essex. This coordinated effort was just one part of a broader operation, which aimed to transport illegal drugs across borders under the guise of legitimate business activities. The detailed work of the law enforcement agencies, along with careful tracking and analysis, ultimately brought this operation to a halt, preventing a significant influx of dangerous substances into Scotland. During a detailed search, officers uncovered 5 large pallets and a series of bulky boxed items that were supposedly intended for delivery to a business in Alicante, Spain. However, further investigation revealed that this company was completely fictitious, used solely as a front for criminal operations. Inside the boxes, officers discovered the items to be counterfeit solar panel generators. These generators contained hidden compartments carefully designed with lead and foil linings. This setup aimed to block detection by Border Force X-ray scanners, preventing authorities from identifying the illicit contents. The compartments could conceal as much as 400 kilograms of drugs, which investigators believe were intended for transport back to Scotland after reaching Spain. This complex drug smuggling plan came to light through Operation Buggy, a significant investigation led by Police Scotland, focusing on large-scale drug trafficking between Spain and Scotland over a span of 2 years, from March 2020 to January 2022. The operation also intersected with Operation Escalade, another in-depth inquiry targeting Scotland's uppermost level of organized crime. According to the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service (COPFS), all 3 men were found to have direct connections to high-profile crime figures James White and Paul Fleming, who are currently serving long prison sentences due to their roles in Operations Buggy and Escalade. The men's involvement was further substantiated by messages extracted from the encrypted EncroChat platform, often used by criminal networks. One message exchange between Christopher Laycock and James White revealed Laycock's discovery of hidden cash in a vehicle, expressing surprise at the larger-than-expected sum. White then informed him that the stash contained £1.3 million. In an earlier message, White had also instructed Laycock to move £800,000 in Scottish banknotes to another secure location. This network of coded exchanges and elaborate concealment tactics highlighted the criminals' sophisticated methods and the scale of their operations, ultimately leading to their arrests and convictions. Kelly's direct involvement in the operation was further confirmed when forensic investigators identified his DNA on the handles of the counterfeit solar panel generators. He had physically assisted in loading these items into a van at the Hillington site, solidifying his role in the criminal scheme. Last month, all 3 men appeared before the High Court in Glasgow, where they entered guilty pleas to charges related to serious organized crime. This week, they faced sentencing at the High Court in Edinburgh. John Bonner, aged 38, who functioned as a key operative responsible for collecting cash from drug sales on behalf of the gang, received a prison sentence of 5 years and 10 months. Christopher Laycock, aged 52, received a sentence of 6 years and 9 months due to his role in advising the gang on establishing a fraudulent shell company to legitimize their shipments. This company served as a front, creating an appearance of lawful business to mask their criminal activities. Lastly, 42-year-old David Kelly was sentenced to 5 years and 10 months for his work in transporting the gang's drug money across the UK using his company van. Detective Chief Inspector Laura Sands remarked on the case, emphasizing the group's perception of their own power and impunity, stating, "As part of one of Scotland's most active and notorious criminal groups, these men truly believed they were beyond the reach of the law." She highlighted the collaborative efforts that led to their capture, adding, "By working closely with our partners, our officers have ensured that these individuals are finally held accountable for their actions." This investigation marks a significant step in Scotland's commitment to dismantling major organized crime networks and upholding justice. The illegal activities of Bonner, Laycock, and Kelly spanned nearly 2 years, from March 2020 through January 2022. During this period, they were actively involved in a complex scheme aimed at smuggling substantial quantities of illegal drugs into Scotland, activities that have now led to significant legal consequences. In addition to their respective prison sentences, each of these men has been subjected to Serious Crime Prevention Orders, SCPOs, that will be in effect for 3 years following their release. These orders are structured to restrict their movements and interactions, reducing the likelihood that they will re-engage in criminal activities once out of custody. Furthermore, all 3 individuals are now facing confiscation actions under the Proceeds of Crime Act, which seeks to strip them of any financial gains or assets derived from their unlawful conduct. Sinead Corrins, the Deputy Procurator Fiscal for Serious Casework at the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service, COPFS, commented on the importance of this case, describing it as a critical prosecution. She highlighted that each of these men played a significant role in orchestrating an operation that intended to flood Scotland with substantial amounts of dangerous drugs sourced from overseas. These individuals are now serving extended sentences due to an exhaustive investigation led by the police in cooperation with COPFS, specifically aimed at dismantling this drug trafficking network, Corrins remarked. Her statement emphasized that this prosecution serves as a clear warning to others who may be involved in similar criminal activities, illustrating that law enforcement and prosecutorial authorities possess the tools and commitment needed to pursue, build, and present cases against complex organized crime operations. Corrins concluded by noting the broader impact of such prosecutions, stating, "Each successful case against these operations brings us one step closer to minimizing the severe harm these drugs inflict on communities across Scotland."